The current news of the week.
Students and voters face a red tagging after local protest. In related news, famous author reacts after a children's book publisher is attacked by state agents.
On the lighter side of things, we tell you the story of a dog lover who gives shelter and home for strays. Live from the University of the Philippines, Visayas, Tacloban College, this is Mar Malte.
And this is Jai Caron. Today is a Wednesday, May 18. We bring you the latest news of the week. This is The Current. Maupay nga aga sinirangan Visayas. You are tuning in to The Current. Neil Gaiman reacts to the attack of National Intelligence Coordinating Agency Director to the Darna House. Here is Kirby Antony for the news.
The Manila Critics Circle has expressed their condemnation to the recent red tagging of Adarna Publishing House. NICA Director General Alex Monteagudo accused Adarna of publishing books that he claimed were part of a communist plot to radicalize children against the government. The Manila Critics Circle defended the publishing house, saying that the truth does not subtly radicalize children. This issue has reached renowned English author Neil Gaiman, who reacted to the post disapproving the baseless accusation. This is Kirby Antony for The Current.
Meanwhile, disinformation is becoming rampant in social media worldwide. With this rate, it has become a crucial part of electoral campaigns as it also becomes a tool to spread ideas or rumors about their opponents. We have Marian Capellan to give updates about the story.
As the predominance of social media in daily life continues to grow, the world finds itself more interconnected than before. However, this comes with a price. Poland will hold local elections in October 2022. However, the far-right party was banned from Facebook for spreading COVID-19 disinformation. Meanwhile, in Africa, ahead of the August presidential elections, 12 million Kenyans offer politicians to spread criticism and fake news for €400 a day. An Oxford study says disinformation campaigns were waged in 81 countries in 2020, nearly 4 times as much 4 years ago. In the Philippines, the spread of fake news in social media platforms had an impactful role in the 2022 elections. The country witnessed an election marked by social media-based propaganda campaigns that sowed disinformation to either bolster or ruin certain candidates. This is Marian Capellan for The Current.
Thank you, Marian. This year's election saw the country's highest voter turnout at the most divisive battle for votes yet. For first-time voters, being part of it was a new experience. Here's Laika Taposo to report.
Sheila May Bartiago is a working student studying at Leyte Normal University. Due to the pandemic, she is forced to support herself and her family while continuing her education. On May 9, 2022, she was one of many Filipinos who casted their votes in hopes of a brighter future. Like many others, Sheila is a first-time voter for the presidential election.
Before the election, it was very nerve-wracking, especially my vote will determine not just my life, but all the people in the Philippines will be affected. But I'm also very determined to vote for the right cause, for the next generation, for people who's working like me and all that.
And we know that you are a working student, right? We're here in your printing shop. I want to know what kind of struggles do you experience right now that you wish the next administration would address?
I would really wish for economic prosperity. Example, transportation fee. Due to the recent price hike of gasoline, the transportation fee increased like 30 to 50%, making it hard for people in total or working students like me to travel from home to work, home to school, and etc. Even for essentials, it's very expensive for them.
How dependent would you say your future is based on the kind of president that will win
Well, if I'm going to rate it, it's going to be like 7 over 10. We cannot deny that policies, laws that this administration will implement will definitely affect our lives. 3 over 10 will be like hard work and sound decision making.
When asked about how she feels about the future of the country, she has this to say.
I'm actually uncertain. It always depends on the leader we're going to elect. We need to vote right. I hope majority vote for the right cause.
Next school year, Sheila will be a graduating student. While graduating is a big milestone for any student, a different set of challenges await her. Challenges the new administration is obligated to address within the next 6 years.
This is like a taboso for the current.
Up next on The Current, students and voters face red tagging after local COMELEC protest. Meanwhile, a woman from Bulacan who saves stray animals addresses government after the election. News with details will be shared after a short break.
Finally, elections are over. We can finally go back to normal now.
Hang on. Our responsibilities don't stop here, you know.
What? Why? What else am I supposed to do?
First, be informed, fact-check, and stay updated on current issues in your country. Second, be vocal, express your opinions, and demand accountability. Third, be open to discussions, educate and learn from other people to help improve the country together.
A message from COMELEC and the station.
Welcome back to The Current. Red tagging issues have once again emerged as groups of students from different UP campuses protest for their dismay at the election results. Joining us live from UP VTZ, here is Milian Ayuban to deliver the news. Milian?
The results of the recent elections has sparked red tagging issues towards the entire UP community, as some of them tried to express their opinions through an academic walkout last May 10, 2022.
Right after COMELEC released the results, a system-wide student walkout headed by the UP Student Regent was conducted to call out COMELEC for its inadequacies in addressing the irregularities in the national elections. UP Tacloban, which also participated in the event, also became the talk of the town. In a Facebook post from a local news outfit last May 11, it featured the statement of the 8th Infantry Division spokesperson of the Philippine Army, Captain Ryan Layog, highlighting that the student walkout was associated or prompted by the CPP and PANDF. The said post garnered over 1,000 hate comments from people reprimanding the group's walkout. The accusations associated with the post have fueled the red tagging issue towards the whole UP Tacloban community.
So it's not new to me. I'm not shocked at all. I'm not surprised that that is happening now, considering the political climate that we are in. But what I suggest is that, but what I know is that the university is willing and would always protect its students, its faculty, its staff, its personnel from these red tagging issues. So whether or not there is red tagging issue, things will go on for the university. Face-to-face classes for one will continue, but that doesn't mean that we don't take into consideration these issues when we plan for things.
Days after the incident, everyone from the UP Tacloban community is told to lie low to avoid adding more fuel to the fire.
Milian, can you tell us the situation in the campus right now? Are there any face-to-face classes conducted at the
JICA, as of the moment, the university continues to do the usual activities done despite the incident. As for the classes, less than 10 students from BA Psychology, BA Communication Arts, and BS Biology are having their limited face-to-face for their courses that require the said setup. Apart from that, no other courses can be seen in school. Live here at UP Tacloban, this is Mel Ayuban reporting. JICA.
Thank you, Milian.
For our news feature, an empathetic woman in Bulacan shows compassion for the strays and make an effort to feed them despite the pandemic. We have Dana Formoso to tell us more about this report.
This is Madeline, also known as Maddie, a resident of May Kawayan, Bulacan. She and her sister own a building in Santo Niño as their primary source of income. Before residing in Bulacan and staying for good, she lived in Japan for a long time. She came back in the Philippines because of his father's request. Unfortunately, they were only given 2 years before his father passed away. Currently, she lives alone in her apartment with her dog named Sachi. She dedicates most of her time to feeding the strays, either on the streets or in abandoned buildings and ditches. She said, "It all started when she fed 4 skinny dogs as she was on her way home. The owner of those dogs were just too busy at the hospital and could not feed them, and thus Maddie made a move in feeding those dogs."
Napakasaya para sa akin sa ginagawa ko na to na hindi ko naman inaasahan na magiging ganito ang kahinatnan ng ginawa ko sa umpisa. Na naawa lang yung isang aso sa ilang aso. Kasi sa araw-araw na ginawa ng Diyos, siyempre kahit ako, nagugutom din ako, hindi lalo na sila.
She even said she's not afraid of the virus, and despite the emerging increase of cases, she continues to feed them. She uses her own money in buying the ingredients. Her expenses for the food would usually cost more than 15 to 20,000 a month. She realized that the budget was too big for her to handle alone, so she started an online page on Facebook to raise the funds.
Ang sa totoo lang aminin ko sa inyo, hindi lang sa feeding ko ginagamit yung pera na dumarating sa akin. Mas nagagamit ko sa kanila sa gamot sa mga may galis.
She had compassion for these animals and decided to dedicate the rest of her life to feed these animals that are left homeless and hungry on the streets.
Pero pakiramdaman natin sila. Nakikita nyo naman din sa mata nila kung magbabasa kayo. Pag binasa nyo yun, pag naulinigan ninyo kung ano ibig sabihin nun, mahal nyo sila.
This is Dana Formoso for The Current.
And those were this week's current news.
Join us again next week for the most current updates. Once again, this is Chai Caron.
And this is Mar Malte, serving the Filipino people the current and the hottest news. This is The Current.